An unhappy America? America's malaise? Depression? The failure of capitalism? Billion-dollar bailouts? All right, it's a mess out there, no question about it. All it takes is 5 minutes watching the news or talking to anybody about the economy to turn what could be a good mood into a horrible one.
Oh, I can't do this anymore.
So how do we deal with that? What really useful tools can we use to move us away from all this bad stuff and into some good stuff? I have a few ideas that may help you today. First, let me start with a billion-dollar mortgage bailout. Now, I'm no fan of bailouts. When I was 24 years old, I was in serious financial trouble, and I asked my personal government, my parents, for help. They turned me down. I haven't forgiven for that. They told me that I got myself in the mess myself, and it was my responsibility to get myself out of it. And so I did. I declared bankruptcy at 24 years old and carried the stigma and shame of that with me for decades. I was devastated. But I'm the one responsible for my destiny, and I learned that the hard way. It's a lesson that many of us in the U.S. need to learn too, isn't it? So is the bailout a good thing? I'll leave that for you to decide, but for some that have been hurt due to falling real estate prices and not the bad mortgage decisions or greed, maybe the bailout is appropriate. But that's not what today's talk is about. I'm here to offer you some suggestions on what to do now. See, here's my take on things. Regardless of the merits of the bailout on an individual or collective basis, here's what I'd really like to see. I want to see a give back. In other words, if we're going to bail your butt out, I want you to give us back 40 hours or more of your time, your energy, your effort over the next year. So that's less than an hour a week. And that give back would be in the form of spending time with reading to kids in the hospital, or packing food for delivery to those unable to shop for themselves, or working with seniors in assisted living facilities, helping out at the Red Cross, or even helping build a home with Habitat for Humanity. The bottom line is there should be no free ride here. We're going to be paying our tax dollars to bail you out over a long time to come, and if we do that for you, then you better provide some benefit to us in return. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a believer in an eye for an eye. I am, however, a believer in everyone learning to become accountable for their situation. And before you start calling me names, which, by the way, wouldn't be the first time, let's discuss the benefit of such a requirement. The U.S. and many other parts of the world is suffering from bad news-itis. One of the best ways to cure that is to get out of our heads and get out of our ego and get into the service of others. Gandhi said that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And Churchill said that you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. If you've ever volunteered or done community service, you know the high you get when you make a contribution. The mere act of giving of yourself allows your heart to take over, releasing the craziness in that ego upstairs. It really works. The bailout bill has already been signed, so it's too late to make that give back a requirement, which is a damn shame. But it's not too late to realize the benefits of that. And here's the really useful message for you today. First, if you're down and troubled and need a helping hand, thank you, James Taylor, try using your own hand. Help others. That will change your mood, I guarantee it. See, every Saturday I volunteer at Project Open Hand in Atlanta. I pack hundreds of meals for people who need those meals. The work I do is, without question, very important to those people, but to be honest, the biggest benefit comes to me, because every Saturday morning I leave there feeling incredible. The people I volunteer with are all committed to making a difference, and I've met the people I've helped. I've been inspired by their love, their appreciation, but moreover by their courage, and I realize just how lucky I am in my life. With that feeling of gratitude, I know I can handle anything that comes my way. So how does that relate to you? Here's one example of what you can do. To all of you parents out there, how do we deal with kids that act out, like me when I was a kid? We punish them, don't we? Well, instead of grounding them or punishing them, how about we give them the gift of 10 hours of community service or more? Let them see just how lucky they really are, and maybe how silly their particular behavior or situation is. In the movie In My Shoes, Cameron Diaz played a rotten kid that took advantage of everybody in every situation. She was awful. It took the strength of Shirley MacLaine's character to put her to work with seniors at a hospital where she learned to give to others and abandoned her selfishness.
I want you out now. Where am I supposed to go? You figure it out.
We know all about you. Miss comes to Florida to milk your grandmother for all she's worth.
Of course, our life isn't a movie. Or is it? Can't we define what we want? Don't we choose our attitude or emotion? So why not take all the negatives and turn them into positives? Why not put ourselves in a position to help others, which by definition will help us? And if you have kids or employees or someone you know, why not contribute, or better yet, commit to a period of weekly contribution, and then you might choose to do it with them. thus bonding in the spirit of giving. You might find it to be among the most powerful ways to get back in touch with who you really are and what's really important to you inside. So that's my message for you today. I hope you find it really useful. And more important, I hope you not just hear it, but act on it.